Well guys, I'm very pissed because this video is going to be a nice video of how I reclaimed some 16-foot floorboards because the workers on my friend's house were cutting up the flooring and there happened to be a little bit of flooring left, and I enjoy the 5-foot and 4-foot sections I got, but I really need some 16-footers, and there was still some left. So in this video I spent 2 days working really hard ripping out the flooring, and then I put the boards down over the rafters so I could walk, and then the workers are like, we can't take those up now, we need those to walk. It's like, but they're my boards, I put them down, you didn't put any boards down. Okay, fine. But you have to keep those boards, and you cannot throw them away, and you cannot cut them. And the owner of the house, who's hiring them, also said you cannot throw them away and you cannot cut them. But guess what they did? Guess what they fucking did? They cut them up and threw them away. So this video has turned from a nice story of reclaiming something into another reminder of how if you try to be nice to anyone, at least an American, they just are complete fucking cunts, and they ruin your plans, throw all your work in your face, because they don't care. It's not their wood. Why should they care? Why should they care to be nice? They don't care about what the planet has given them, because all these resources come from the planet. These boards come from trees that were growing in like the 1500s or the 1600s or whatever. And before I say something really possibly seen as like a threat to someone's life or something like that, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to forget this, and this will just be another episode of how those who give everything will have everything taken away, and how I guess in this world we just have to be unkind to people and be very selfish, because otherwise we get people stepping right over us, or whatever the term is. So after this is the original video, and I hope that you watch it with this in mind. So we're back at the 1909 house, which had the fire in the attic, and we're in the attic. They've removed the flooring, but unfortunately they cut the flooring up into 5-foot sections and threw it in the dumpster. So now I only have 5-foot sections. I really wish I would have had the longer sections, like 10 or 12 feet, however long they came in. But there's still the stage, and in a few days they're going to be cutting up and throwing the stage into the dumpster. So I think we should work on trying to get some of the long sections off the stage, or disassemble the stage. And plus, the stage is not what it seems. There's actually multiple stages there. So it looks like there's actually a lot more wood there than it appears. I guess they just built a stage, danced on it till it wore out, and built another stage, because this used to be a big dance hall. And that was a stage for plays and music and all sorts of things. But this is a big room. This is a very big room. This is a big house for a very well-to-do family in the very center of town. So I think the owners of this land were very rich landowners. So they had a lot of friends and had like parties here all the time in the early 1900s. That would actually be really cool to go back in time and see that. But for now, you'll salvage the wood and hopefully get some very nice old growth lumber from the early 1900s. Look at that. It's a nice long one. So it appears that the boards were laid front to back because the nails are on this side now. So in order to properly undo them, I need to start this way and come back. But not sure. I need to remove this piece right here. That's a bullet. Huh, interesting. Well, here's some good news. I only have to take off the top part because evidently they need to clean in there. Like they have some cleaner that they'll clean it out, and I should not touch the front part. So that does make me happy that they're not ripping everything out. Evidently they said, the cleaner said that whenever spring comes along and the humidity in the air comes up a lot, the smells are going to start coming out and it'll still smell awful. I'm not so sure how accurate that is, but oh well. I wish they would have told me before, and I'm glad I asked, because otherwise I was just about to rip out the entire thing. So it's just the top part, and that makes me happier that the rest of it will be staying, and they're going to be redoing it, so it'll be a nice dance hall type area again, hopefully. Alright, so now the second layer doesn't have enough room for me to hammer the thing under there, so it's getting really tedious. There's a nail there, so in this one what I can do is I can go in from this side, split this piece off the wood, and get the nail. Like so. A good amount there. Butter. Holy hell. It'll be enough, but the next one won't be. The next one will go easier. Hopefully now I have enough room to get underneath these. Or not. Oh, like that, yeah. Nice. Told you, next one would be a lot better, and it was. 5 feet, so whatever. It's been a day. I've had time to think about this and figuring out how to take these up, because this is my first time ripping up wood flooring, but also getting out that one board, and I guess the board behind it, which is such a pain in the butt. It took so long. So I probably could have actually hacked that up with a saw, but now I know, and now I have that all opened up to where the rest should be pretty quick. And if I'm understanding correctly, I might end up with around 24 16-foot boards, which is pretty cool. So I picked up this flat bar from Walmart, and it's total crap. Like, look how blunt that end is. It's horrible. It's not going to get underneath anything. So I found this was already here. I'm just going to use a crowbar, and it's working much, much better, because that actually has an angle to get underneath stuff. Got the best method here. I wasn't pulling it up high enough. That's why. just gonna leave a bruise. You know, it just occurred to me, underneath here, underneath this stage, is possibly like the roof to another room or the balcony or something like that. So I definitely should not stand on that because that's not meant to be stood on. No wonder this is all messed up. Although we'll have to look outside to make sure. I don't know. But I just stepped on this floor underneath here and it kind of cracked a little bit, and it probably is not a floor. Well, good news. My friend who owns this house said that he could actually have the workers take the wood out for me because I've still saved them a lot of time where they don't have to bother ripping it up. And now because I ripped it up, I have a claim on it for like the 16 footers, which is really nice. Because otherwise they would be like, well, the boss says we have to cut it up to make it quicker. But with this is quickest, so that's good. So I'm just going to finish ripping up the rest of these boards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 boards, which is not too bad. And then I'm going to go home. But yeah, it's so nice to have these 16 footers. Unfortunately, I'm having some difficulties with, or not difficulties, but I'm having mixed results depending on the wood. Some of them, depending on the grain pattern, they just crumble apart in the crowbar. So, I don't know. Perhaps there's a better way to go about this, but it could just be that some of this wood is just not the best old wood. Like the beams that they use for structure is probably really nice, but the wood they use for flooring probably isn't always the best. But, I mean, you can't always use the best. You have to use what you have, and so that makes sense. But still, I'm very happy with it, and even though I'm very fed up with this, because like I pretty much worked through the last couple months of 2018 without really stopping, and I kind of couldn't stop focusing on the workshop. And then I was expecting this week to be my week off, but then this happened, and the dumpster full of wood, and it's like, well, fine, I guess I'll spend another week doing a lot of work. But now, hopefully next week I will not have anything big come up, and I will be happier because of it. Like a bit of discomfort now will go a long way in the future. Oh, but yeah, so just to clarify, this surface down here is the roof to the cover, or the balcony cover. So that's like a 35-foot drop underneath those boards. I'm glad that I didn't stand that very much longer. That's for sure. And I'm very thankful that they made it out of very nice, strong wood. You know, it makes a lot more sense though, because I was wondering, like, why on earth would they have multiple floors here and there's such a weird design, and then they'd have the 5-inch wood up here when that's supposedly the original wood down there? It makes sense this is all original. The more you know. Ow, fuck. The last 16-footer. Has a bunch of nails all the way down it though, so it's a bit unfortunate. Get some extra lighting. So if this was my house, I think we can all agree I would not be replacing all this wood. Because the main reason they're doing it is because of the smell. But even if there was a smell, I personally think like it would be better actually just to replace the parts that burned, maybe replace around there. But if there is much of a smell, open the windows and let them air out for a couple of years, and that smell is going to go away. And then the thing that really worries me is they've taken out all this stuff, and I've salvaged it, and I brought it into my workshop. And to be honest, I don't really smell any smoke in it. And I took the insulation, which they said they were taking out because of the smell, and I don't really smell any burntness in it. So I worry that they've been removing all this stuff for almost no reason, when it doesn't smell bad. But the insurance company said to do that, and they're paying for it, so it's like whatever. But if this was my house, what I would do is I would replace that section that burnt. I would maybe scrub down all the other parts, open a few windows, let it air out a lot. But then I would abandon the electrical system, since the electrical system caused the fire in the first place, and I would go with the conduit system that's like just running along the walls, instead of having the wiring inside the walls. That's what we're going to be doing to our house. We're going to be abandoning the old knob and tube wiring and in favor of a conduit system that is like totally accessible. It's on the inside. Like, I don't mind if there's a little conduit line, but it's actually nice to know where the wires are. So you know, like, you can drill anywhere in the house because the wires are on the outside of the walls, and you know you're not going to accidentally hit a wire. I like that. And I believe over in Europe and where they have more of brick buildings and such, they have a lot more upgrades like that instead of putting the wires through the walls. Whereas over here, most buildings are wood, so there's usually a way to upgrade them to electric. I don't know, that's just my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya. I'm gonna go home and sleep for a week.